Hello everyone, welcome back to another OLGA tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to talk about two different IPR models, um, inflow performance relationship IPR. One of them is linear IPR and the other one is Vogel IPR. Uh, if we quickly look at the definition of these IPR relationships or the inflow performance relationship, you can see that for the linear or a straight line IPR, there is a straight line definition between the reservoir pressure and the sand face pressure or the downhole pressure. So, and this PI is basically the constant factor that dictates how much how much actually oil is going to produce in relationship between the difference between the reservoir and the downhole pressure. In the other one that we are going to talk in this tutorial, the Vogel IPR, you can see that there is another factor defined here which is called Qmax, and the QO, which is the oil rate in a standard barrel per day, is defined in this relationship: QO divided by QO max, which is a maximum oil rate, equals to 1 minus zero point 0.2 downhole pressure divided by the reservoir pressure minus 80% of downhole pressure divided by reservoir pressure to the power 2. So this is the difference between Vogel. So if you look at the Vogel has a shape of like this, while the linear IPR had the shape of like that. So this is the definition of Vogel, and that is the definition of straight line. Let's get to a model that we have already created and basically simulate these two and see the difference. So in the first one, that is the linear IPR. If you look at the geometry of the well, it's basically a very vertical well with 1000 meter of elevation. It's like 1 kilometer elevation, and x is more or less 0. There is almost no horizontal elevation. I mean, no horizontal x here. And the roughness and the diameter and the length of the section, you can see it here. It's divided to 10 sections. It's a very simple geometry. There is no complication here. To define the IPR, here we can define the IPR. If you right click on the IPR, you can see that there are several different types of IPR. Here we have chosen linear, and for both injection and production we have used the same constants. If you can see here, A equals to 0 and B is 1 E minus 6 kilogram divided by second Pascal. And if you wonder what A and B is, you can simply just click on F1 and then see linear for more information. And then you can see that here this is basically the definition of the linear IPR in OLGA. So here we have defined A to be 0 and then B is 1E to the power of minus 6. Yeah, and then if you go to reservoir, you can see the definition of the reservoir itself. The reservoir pressure is 85 bar, the temperature is set at 62 degrees of centigrade, and then the input, I mean the production IPR is already defined here under the library, and also the injection IPR is also defined under the library IPR. The outlet pressure is a pressure constant of 50 bar, right? And the temperature is set at 22 degrees. If I just run this simulation, we can see uh, what information we can get. If you plot, for example, trend plot of the pressure, I mean, like the total mass flow, for example, GT, you can see that the total mass flow is more or less constant. It's getting steady state at 1.645. Let's see how much volume of a standard volume of oil we can get from this. I think I need to add another trend here. So if you go to output and right click and add trend data, and then here search for something like oil volume well, you can see that you have something called QoST well oil volume flow at a standard condition. Let's just click on that and then run this simulation again, and then we can see how much of oil this reservoir with this IPR is basically producing. Let's look at the QoST well, and then you can see that it is at 83.75 standard cubic meter per day. That was it basically. That was really simple. It is a linear IPR definition, and then we can jump to Vogel's IPR formulation. For Vogel, again, you can define the formulation here with the Qmax defined here at 50,000 standard barrel per day. Again, to understand what this Qmax is, I mean, we have gone through the definition, but again, you can click F1 and then see Vogel for more information, and then you can see the definition of Vogel formulation here. The Qmax is the maximum, is the theoretical maximum oil rate when flowing bottom hole pressure equals to 0, right? And then if I close this, uh, again, it's the same geometry. The outlet is set at 50 bar pressure, and I think the reservoir is. We can take a look. The reservoir is set at. Let's make it 85 bar to have the same, more or less the same problem definition. We have 85 bar, temperature at 62 degrees, and the input and the injection and production IPR are both Vogel's. That is defined under the library here, under IPR library. Um, I have already added the trend data of QoST. You can see it here. QoST well is already defined here. Then I can just run it and see what oil rate I'm getting out of this IPR. So if you click on the trend plot and if you go on QoST well, this time you can see that it's 663.8 standard cubic meter per day. And for example, you can plot other properties. I don't know, you can plot hold up to see how much of this production is oil or liquid and how much is really gas. You can see that it's only 10% of the content of the well is oil and the rest is gas. Very, very interesting. It seems like it's mostly gas. Um, yeah, I think that was it more or less. I just wanted to show you how to use different IPR inflow performance relationships when you are running a well model. Of course, you can try the other kind of IPRs. You can read it yourself in the help. What for example back pressure is, what Forchheimer is. Forchheimer is basically used for gas systems. There are other things like tabular, like juicy, undersaturated. I hope you can go through help and read upon every single of them and make yourself familiar with these IPRs. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Until next time, talk to you.